Good afternoon to one and all. I am R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering. Today in this class, I am going to explain you about the classification of gears. So different types of classification has been evaluated in the gears. So I am going to explain you all the classification of the gears. In the previous class, we have discussed about what is a gear and what are the characteristics of the gears and what are the gear materials we are going to use. And next, today's topic is the classification of the gears. So there are different types of classification, and I'm going to explain the first one in the first slide, that is the according to the position of the axis of the shafts. So according to the position of the axis of the shaft, it has been divided into four types. That is in the parallel section, that is the parallel axis of shafts. So in the parallel axis of the shafts, the gears which is connected to the parallel shafts. So the gears are going to connected in the to the parallel shafts only. So in that, four types has been evaluated. First one is the spur gear, second one is the helical gear, third one herringbone gear, and last one it is the rack and pinion gear. So these are the four types of gears from the parallel position of axis of shafts. Next one is the intersecting shafts, which would intersect at the some angle positions. Bevel gear with straight screw and spiral teeth comes under these intersecting types of position of axis. So bevel gear with the straight screw spiral teeth has been comes under these intersecting gears. And last one is the non-intersecting and non-parallel. So in these non-intersecting and non-parallel gears, gears which connect the non-parallel and non-intersecting shafts, which are worm and worm gears, comes under this type of gears. So these are the according to the position of axis of shafts. So that is the spur gears, helical gear, herringbone gear, and axial gear. Next one, according to the velocity of gears. So according to the velocity of gears, it has three types. That is the low velocity, medium velocity, and high velocity. There are three types of gears. That is the in the low velocity, the speed is less than 3 meters per second. So the speed of the section of the shaft is 3 meters per second. That is less than 3 meters per second. And coming to the medium velocity, it has in between the 3 to 15 meters per second. That is 3 to 15 meters per second. And in the high velocity gear, the speed is more than 15 meters per second. So the speed is increasing more, that is to 15 meters per second. This is the classification velocity of gears according to the velocity of the gears. Next one is the according to the type of gearing. So in this type of gearing, first one is the external gearing. So in this external gearing, external machine is used. So the meshing is done in external parts of the gears. Coming to the internal gearing, the meshing is done in the internal parts, that is through the hole or the hollow shaft and the annular wheel. Next one is the rack and pinion. So this is through the straight line gear rack of the circular wheel or the pinion. Last one is the according to the position of tooth on the gear surface. So according to the gear surface, so it has three types, that is the straight one, inclined one and the curved one. So it is the straight gear surface, inclined gear surface and the curved gear surface. Next one, so these are the single helical gear and the double helical gear. So on the center of the gear you can see the difference. It is inclined in the both the portions. Next one is the bevel gear, which is used to transmit it to two different axes. And last one is the spiral gear. And the worm gearing is essentially a form of spiral gearing. So this is the form of spiral gearing, in which the shafts are usually at right angles. So this worm gearing is generally in the form of a spiral gearing, which shafts are at right angles. So that is in the parallel axis only. And when equal bevel gears, that is having equal teeth, so having equal teeth, connect two shafts whose axes are mutually perpendicular, then the bevel gears is known as miters. So that is miters, you can call it as miters. That type of elements can be called as, that is bevel gears is called as miters. So this is known as meters. So in that, first one is the spur gear. So the first type of gear is the spur gear. So generally these spur gears are parallel and coplanar shafts which is connected by the gears. So this type of connectivity, that is for parallel and coplanar shaft, with the parallel and coplanar shafts is called as spur gears. So this type of gears is called as the spur gears. And these spur gears have straight teeth and parallel to the axis of wheel. So these straight teeth are parallel to the axis of the wheels. So you can see it in the picture also. These are the straight type. So and the advantages of these spur gears are there. Simplicity in design. So they are very simple and easy to carry, which is having a simple design. So that is the basic advantage of these spur gears. And next, these are very economical to manufacture and maintenance, which are in the absence of the end thrust. So these gears does not have the end thrust. So these are the advantage. And next, first of gears are also known as slow speed gears. So the velocity ratio of these type of gears is somewhat less than the other types gears. That is why these spur gears are known as slow speed gears. And these spur gears are the most common type of gears. So these are generally the most common type of gears. So in the picture you can see the spur gears which is having parallel alignment. Parallel alignment always. So they have been intersecting the positions like this. So they are parallel to each other, and the axis is also straight. The straight is parallel to the axis of the wheel, which is parallel to the axis of the wheel. Next one is the helical gear. Helical gears have their teeth inclined to the axis of the shaft. So in the picture you can see the teeth is somewhat inclined to the shaft, which has some inclination to the basic part of the shaft, in which it forms of a in the form of a helix. So this is in the form of a helix. And these helical gears can take higher loads than similar sized spur gears. So apart from these spur gears, these helical gears can move it with the high loads, and the motion of the helical gears is smoother and quieter than the motion of the spur gears. So they are very smooth and no noise is on the helical gears comparing to spur gears. The angle of the helix on both the gear must be same in magnitude, but it is opposite in direction. So it is opposite in direction, but the magnitude is same. And that is a right hand pinion meshes with the left hand gear. So the pinion which is in the opposite direction. So that is a right hand pinion must be contact with the left hand side gear. And these gears are usually considered as high speed gears. So generally these are high speed gears. So it is meshing with the opposite side figure. So we can see it in the figure. So this is the opposite side of the meshing, which is on the helix. So that is why these gears having very high velocity ratio. That is why they are performing the with the high velocity ratio. Next one is the herringbone gear. This herringbone gear resembles the two helical gears that have been placed side by side. So these have been placed the side by side. So in this herringbone gear, you can see the helical gears which is attached to the side by side position. So this is the herringbone position. And a disadvantage of the herringbone gear is that it cannot be cut by simple gear hopping machines. So the manufacturing of the herringbone gears is very difficult to manufacture because they are not manufactured by the hopping machines. And this herringbone gear is usually referred to as double helical gear. So we already know that it is the combination of two helical gears, that is in the opposite direction, and magnitude is common. And these herringbone is type of double gear with two helical gears joined together. That is joined together correctly of opposite helix. So that is combination of the opposite helix, and they don't have any clearance between them. So this does not contain any clearance. Whereas in double helical gear, there is a groove between the two helical gear given for tool runout for manufacturing, which is the tool runout for manufacturing condition. So in the picture you can see the herringbone. So there is slightly a gap, but in some herringbone gears there is not any gap really between these two helices. Next one is the bevel gear, or it can be called as miter gear, but in major proportionates it is calling it as bevel gear only. So intersecting, but it is having coplanar shafts which is connected by gears which is called as bevel gears. So these gears is called as bevel gears, and straight bevel gears can be used on the shafts at any angle, but the right angle is the most common one. So before using it, they are going to take it on the right angle position only. So that is why it is called as straight bevel gears. And in that, two types of gears have been exaggerated. First one is the spiral bevel gears, and second one is the zero bevel gears. So in the first one, that is the spiral bevel gears. In these spiral bevel gears, the tooth are oblique, and spiral bevel gears are quieter and can take up more load as compared to straight bevel gears. So they can take more load as compared to straight bevel gears. And next coming to the zero level bevel gauge, that is zero bevel gauge. These zero bevel gauges are similar to the straight bevel gauge, and but their teeth are curved lengthwise. So these curved teeth of zero bevel gauge are arranged in a manner that are effective spiral angle is 0. So that the effective spiral angle must be 0 to that case. Next one is the worm gauge. These worm gates are used to transmit power at 90 degrees and where the reductions are required. So where high reductions are required, they are going to take it. You can see it in the picture also. So in these worm gears, one gear has the screw thread positions and the other one has a smooth output. So in this gear, one gear has the screw threads. Due to this, worm gears are very quiet in position and the vibration free and gives a smooth output. So this gives a very smooth output compared to the other ones. And these worm gears and the worm gear shafts are almost invariable at right angles. So these are positioned at only the right angle positions which are perpendicular to each other. So you can see it in the picture also. There is the right angled position of these worm gears. Next one is the rack and pinion type. So in the rack and pinion type, a rack is a toothed bar or rod that can be thought of as a sector with an infinitely large radius of curvature. So this is having a large radius of curvature, but the pinion can be considered as the spur gear attachment. So the pinion has been a spur gear attachment. and the torque can be converted to the linear force by meshing of these gears. So by meshing, you can move it to the new one, and with the help of the pinion. So with the help of the pinion gear, you are going to mesh it with the another gear, and the arc moves in a straight line. So this moves in a straight line motion. And such a mechanism is used in the automobiles to convert the rotation of the steering wheel into the left to right motion of the tie rod. So in that motion of the tie rod, they are going to use it in the automobiles. So generally in the automobile spare parts and in the other thing, they can be used widely. Next one is the screw gear. So a helical gear that transforms the power from one shaft to another shaft. So a helical gear which is going to transmit the motion from one shaft to other shaft, which are at the non-parallel and the non-interacting surfaces. Which are at the non-parallel and non-interacting surfaces. And these screw pair consists of the features. It is used in the speed reducer or a multiplying gear, and these are going to tends to weigh as the gear come in sliding contact. So this comes under the sliding contact of another gear, and these are not suitable for transmission of high horsepower. So whenever we are going to transmit the high horsepower, these gears are not to be used and not perfect for that type. And the applications of the screw pair gear is they used as the driving gear for automobiles. So these are highly used as the driving gear for automobiles and automatic machines. So they are also used in the automatic machines that require intricate motion. That is the translatory motion. So that is the translatory movement. So this screw pair is used for the different applications, highly used in the automobile applications only. Next one is the internal and external gears. So these internal and external gears are used for the threading of internal threading and the external threading. First one is the internal gear. So in these internal gear, an internal gear is one with the teeth formed on the inner surface of the cylinder or cone. So these are formed at the inner surface of the cylinder or the cone, and an external gear is the one in which the tooth formed on the outer surface of the cylinder of the cone. So this is formed on the outermost part of the cylinder. So you can see it in the picture also. So these are the two types of internal gears and the external gears. Next one is the phase gear. Phase gears transmit power at right angles in a circular motion. So these phase gears usually generate the transmit power at right angles in a circular motion, and these phase gears are not very common in the industrial applications. So generally they are not used for the high industrial applications. Next one is the sprockets. So you can see know about these sprockets. So the sprockets are used to run chains or belt drives, which is used to convey the motion or transmit the motion, and they are typically used in the conveyor systems. So generally they are going to use highly in the conveyor systems only, and they are used in the chain drives in motorcycles and bicycles. So you all know about these sprockets, so which they can use in the motorcycles and bicycles. సో తెలుగులో వచ్చేసి పళ్ళ చక్రాలు అంటారమ్మా అవేవి. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ది టైప్ ఆఫ్ ది spur gears, sorry, general gears. So these sprockets are used to transmit the motion in a little manner, that is a small manner. And next we are going to see the advantages and disadvantages of this gear drive. So firstly we go to the advantages. So it transmits the exact velocity ratio. So generally these gears are going to transmit the exact velocity ratio for a gear driving to the driven gear. And next it may be used to transmit large power. So generally whenever we are going to transmit large power conditions, we are going to use these types of gears. It may be used for small center distance of the shafts. and it has high efficiency. So the efficiency of the gates is very high compared to other one, and it has reliable service. So the gates are the reliable condition services, and it has a compact layout. So generally these gates are used in the less spaced areas in which it has a compact layout. So next, coming to the disadvantages. Since the manufacture of gates requires special tools and special equipment, it is a costlier than other drives. So generally, the manufacturing or the design of gates is somewhat higher than the other ones, and the error in cutting teeth may cause vibrations. The errors in the cutting teeth may cause vibrations and noise during these operations. And it requires suitable lubricant and reliable method of applying it for the proper operation of gate drives. So for the proper operation of the gate drives, we are going to apply the method. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the wheel drives. So by this, we can conclude this session. So in the next class, I will explain the nomenclature of the gates. It is different nomenclature. What are the different parts? And what are the different sections of the gates? Thank you.